Today, we're going to talk about a controversial topic, which is manipulation tactics by people with borderline personality disorder. And I have found that people get defensive, especially like in the psychological community, or people who know that they have borderline personality disorder and they watch videos or they read books or articles. People get, in my opinion, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but people get very defensive when you say that borderlines are manipulative, because they feel like I'm not manipulating, I'm just coping. But if we don't discuss these things, then we're all doing a bunch of pretending. And I feel like, how can pretending get us anywhere? So even though it could cause some BPDs to become defensive, which I can understand that, I just want to implore you to kind of relax that part of yourself for a moment and step into the shoes of someone who is not a borderline and how they are perceiving you, because people without borderline personality disorder do look at some of the things that you do as manipulative, and it is not to be hurtful, but it is an attempt to change some behaviors and not hold on to them or grip them tightly. If you are aware of how it comes across, then maybe there's something you can do to make things better, which is difficult for borderlines to do at times, because what I notice is you address one thing and they just shift it into another. It's like they figure out another way to do the same thing. It's kind of like, okay, well, when I was like training to become a counselor, there was somebody I was working with and I called her a perfectionist, and that upset her. So the professor told me, change the wording, say the same thing, but in a different way so that they can receive the information and not become offensive. And so I find that sometimes borderlines will just keep doing the same thing. They just change the strategy. So by manipulative, it's like you're trying to get your needs met by any means necessary, even if it negatively impacts the person who you are trying to bond with or get to do something for you. It is manipulation. It is thought to be a form of manipulation, and the person knows that you're doing it and they want you to stop. But instead of stopping, you just change strategies or tactics. And so then you have the self-fulfilling prophecy of people running from you or doing the thing that you're trying not to get them to do, which is to leave you or stop being friends with you. So I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to be able to listen to what people are saying, and you gotta figure out, even though it's super difficult, to get your needs met in a way that is not imposing the other person. Because while other people may not have borderline personality disorder, they also have a lot of challenges, problems, issues, their own junk that they're trying to deal with. And so if they have to deal with your junk and their own junk, it's very hard. Sometimes they don't have the capacity to do that. They don't know what to do. So I once talked to someone who had an office mate. They both had their own offices, but this person insisted that they have each other's keys. And even though she would say, I need to eat lunch on my own, I need to take care of some business while I'm eating my lunch, the borderline would disregard her request and would use her key to come into her office anyway and sit while she's trying to handle personal business. And no matter how often she told the borderline, I really need my own, please don't, knock. I would prefer you to knock on the door and respect my privacy. Do not let yourself into my office with your key. And she just would insist on not doing that. She also would withhold information or not teach her certain things so that she would always be relying on her expertise. And so then the non-borderline couldn't get a lot of things done because the BPD is refusing to teach her things so that she can always be kind of in the dark. The BPD would also make up scenarios and emergencies and things happening that would cause the other person to have to go running or figure things out unnecessarily that were other people's jobs. So the borderline would pull other people in by, hey, I'll help you with your job and my job. And then she would insist that her coworker, who was hired for the same thing, to also come with me to help these other people with their job when that was in fact not her job, which caused a lot of problems because instead of just focusing on their own job, they were all in other people's jobs. And then those people expected them to come and help them with their job, but then who's doing the borderline and her colleague's job? No one. So it just creates this entanglement of we're dependent upon you because you've trained us to do so, because the borderline may want them to always need her, but it creates problems for everyone. And this vicious cycle and creating scenarios where we need to stay late for work and it is mandatory, and then you find out it's not mandatory at all, you just wanted me to be here with you. Those kinds of things can become very exhausting. So BPD manipulation tactics. Borderline personality disorder can lead individuals to exhibit certain behaviors that may be perceived as manipulative. It's important to understand that these behaviors often stem from deep-seated emotional distress rather than intentional malice. So here are some common tactics and the reasons behind them. Number 1, emotional blackmail. Individuals may use guilt, fear, or obligation to influence others' actions. They might threaten self-harm or withdrawal if their needs are not met. Number 2, splitting. This involves viewing people as all good or all bad, leading to intense and rapidly changing feelings towards others. This can cause confusion and conflict in relationships. 3, victimization. They may portray themselves as a victim to elicit sympathy and support, often to avoid accountability for their actions. 4, guilt induction. They might remind others of past sacrifices or express disappointment to manipulate feelings and encourage compliance. 5, passive-aggressive behavior. This can include sulking, procrastination, or indirect communication to express anger or dissatisfaction without direct confrontation. Reasons for manipulative tactics. Number 1, fear of abandonment. Individuals with BPD often have an intense fear of being abandoned or rejected, which can drive them to act in ways to maintain relationships, even if those behaviors are harmful. Number 2, emotional dysregulation. They may struggle to manage their emotions effectively, leading to impulsive actions and attempts to control their environment and relationships. 3, low self-esteem. Feelings of worthlessness can lead individuals to seek constant validation and support, sometimes through manipulative means. 4, desire for connection. The need for intimacy and connection can drive a person with BPD to engage in behaviors that ensure they feel close to others, even if those behaviors are unhealthy. And that's what was happening with the person that I gave you the example of. She told her, I want to be close to you, like closer than just colleagues. I want to be like best friends. And it's like, okay, but I just met you a week ago, so that's uncomfortable. So understanding these behaviors requires compassion and recognition of the underlying emotional struggles. Therapy and support can help individuals with BPD learn healthier ways to express their needs and cope with their emotions. And I think that's important because relationships are two-way streets. So you want people to understand you, well, you have to understand where other people are coming from so that you can foster healthier relationships. And it takes hard work, and I know it's difficult. So let me know if you agree or disagree. I know this is a sticky topic, You could be dealing with somebody who's a narcissist and not a borderline. So you want to check out my book, The Workplace NaRCISSiST, which is about a very high functioning narcissist, and I think it will really help you. Also, if you need help with your relationship, borderline or not, I really think my book, Flip the Script on Love, will help you with many aspects of relationships, to heal, to enjoy them more, and just, it's fun. It's a fun read, so check it out. And if you love Myers-Briggs personality types, it could help you better understand people. I wrote a book called From ENFJ with Love, which is about the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types, and it's just super fun understanding people better. So check those out. I love you guys, and I appreciate you listening and your feedback and your support. You guys are awesome, and I will see you guys on the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye.